Hi, my name is McKenzie Cantu, and this is my presentation on Alicia Garza. Alicia Garza was born on January 4th in 1981 in Los Angeles, California. She started activism very early in her life. By the age of 12, she was already advocating for sex education and pregnancy prevention in schools. She was fighting against violence against women. And later, she graduated from Redwood High School and she attended the University of California in San Diego. In 2002, she received her bachelor's degree in anthropology and sociology. Later in life, in 2017, she received her master's degree in ethnic studies from San Francisco State University. She participated in a lot of activism throughout her life, and first, she began interning at SOUL, which is the School of Unity and Liberation, and it provides training for social justice organizers. And in that same year, she became an organizer for Just Cuz in Oakland, which is a social services organization. And she became an executive director of People Organized to Win Employment Rights, which is POWER, in 2005. And they stand up for racial, gender, and economic justice. She later in 2011 became elected. She was elected board chair for RTTC, which is Right to the City Alliance, which is an organization that fights against gentrification and displacement of the working class and people of color. And later in 2013, she became the Special Projects Director for the NDWA, which is the National Domestic Workers Alliance, which fights for recognition and rights for domestic workers. Later in 2019, she co-founded Supermajority, which is a women's advocacy group with her two friends, Ai-jen Poo and Cecile Richard. In 2012, on February 26th, Trayvon Martin was a 17-year-old Black male, and he was racially profiled by George Zimmerman, who followed him around his neighborhood and shot and killed him, unfortunately. And he was also freed because he used the Stand Your Ground law, which is another unfortunate thing, but he did. He was freed of all charges. And this hit home to Alicia because Trayvon Martin was a very close friend of her brother. And this caused her to turn to social media, which is where she posted multiple posts, but the main one was called A Love Letter to Black People. And it ended in it saying, Black people, I love you, I love us, and our lives matter. And another activist took that last part, Our Lives Matter, and created the hashtag Black Lives Matter. And they then added another friend named Opal Tameti, and they became the co-founders of the Black Lives Matter movement, which is a movement that fights against racism and discrimination of African Americans. And we all know about it because it was a big movement and everybody heard about it, and it brought light to a lot of innocent names that they had been killed because of the color of their skin, like Trayvon Martin, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and so many others. It was amazing what these women did. And later in 2017, Alicia Garza also founded Black Futures Lab, which helps African Americans gain political power so that we can have more representation of African Americans in our government, which is awesome. And then in 2020, Alicia Garza wrote a book called The Purpose of Power, How We Come Together When We Fall Apart, which was a book. It was a guide of how she created the Black Lives Matter movement and how we can create movements like it so we can create change in the world, which is pretty cool. And in that same year, she created a weekly podcast called Lady Don't Take No. And this was pretty cool because she talks about, it's like political commentary, but she's also talking about beauty products and makeup and hair products. It's pretty cool. And Alicia Garza was constantly awarded and recognized, probably way more than I could put in this presentation, which is very good. She's an amazing woman. But a few of them are: she was on the Roots 100 list of African American achievers from the age of 25 to 45. She was also awarded with the Glamour Woman of the Year award and also the Marie Claire New Guard award. She was on Fortune magazine's list of world's greatest leaders. She was also awarded the Bayard Rustin Community Activist Award for her fight against discrimination and racism. She was also awarded the Local Hero Award by the San Francisco Bay Guardian. She was also in Geo magazine on the list of 100 women we love. She made an impact not only in the United States, but in all around the world, because her and the other co-founders of um, Black Lives Matter received the Sydney Peace Prize in 2017 in Sydney, Australia, which is pretty awesome. Alicia Garza dedicated her life to fighting against racism, discrimination, and violence towards African Americans. People like Alicia Garza make differences in the world, and that's why I think it's important to talk about people like Alicia Garza, because they make change happen, and I think we need a lot more of that in the world, a lot more people like her. She is an inspiration, she's amazing, and I really enjoyed learning all of this about her. And that has been my presentation on Alicia Garza. Thank you so much.